Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Morning Coffees with James. I'm James, and this is supposed to represent my morning coffee. Well, alright, good. We're doing the show. How is everybody doing? How's everybody doing today? I hope you're happy, because I've got some news for ya, children. A little three-dog action. Children, let me ask you something. If you owned a castle or a house, and marauders, raiders, and all sorts of evil people came to your house trying to give you a what for, would you be inclined to take defensive actions as with an AR-15 or a pistol and stop showing them that the Second Amendment works? And what I'm referring to, let me speak clearly here. I was trying to do my best three-dog. I'm referring to the incident that happened in St. Louis a couple of days ago. I think it was Saturday or Sunday. No, it was Sunday. Saturday we had people tearing down statues on that day, but on Sunday we had people being marauders, basically. And one of the things I want to address here, and it's something I have to say, especially about I know, they're protesters. I can't say marauders, but they broke into okay, here's the situation. So basically they were trying to get these protesters were trying to break into a private community to get to the mayor's house of St. Louis, whatever, so-and-so. And they basically busted in and were starting to walk in there. And again, if you don't know the law, that is still private property. Like, even if it's a gated community, that is still private property. Now, anyhow, this couple came out and defended their castle from these protesters. They came out armed with guns. So it was a boomer couple. This is what they're calling them, the base boomers. But they came out with guns and stood their ground. The husband was carrying an AR, looked like a civilian version to the M16, and the wife was carrying what appeared to be a 38 Walter PP6, PP7, I think it is, PP8. One of the PPs. They came out armed. The husband looked cool as shit. He looked like I have to agree with Sticks and Mew. He basically he was saying he kind of did look cool. He looked like this dude was pretty much armed. He was pretty much armed to the teeth, and I'm hoping I'm going in the right direction here, so I gotta be up to date here. So what time? No, I'm not gonna go that way. Alright, thank you. And he basically stood his ground. He basically stood his ground against these marauders and people trying to loot his land. And, the husband was okay, but it was the wife who had little to no trigger discipline and had the finger on the trigger, pointing the gun at them, which is a big no-no. For if anything, I'm gonna criticize, and I think a lot of the right is criticizing, is the wife's trigger discipline and her discipline towards self-protection. Granted, they weren't attacking, they weren't charging, so pointing a gun at them was not the best option. But then again, you are dealing with a crowd of crazy people here. So yeah, anyhow, the media is making it out to be that they pointed guns at harmless protesters and stuff like that and all this, and everybody's trying to dox them, and I'm going to put my 2 cents in here. They had every right to do that. These were people who rebuilt that mansion they were at. They, made it they made their lifestyle comfortable. They basically built their fortune. They built their fortune, and I'm so sick. I'm so sick of these people who hate the rich, the whole eat the rich shit. And it's like, what? Some of these rich people are not going to go down without a fight. Either if it's private security or owning a shit ton of guns and ammo. People are going to resist and not be defenseless. And this whole thing about why do you need an AR-15? It's like, you really don't need an AR-15. Well, Markiplier, it's because of shit like that. And granted, those protesters were not approaching, they were cripping on private property, which, by the way, again, private property. If I owned a 12,000 acre land, I'm allowed to build whatever I want on there. Driveway, street lights, whatever have you. So, yeah, look that up. Or I'm doing the best of example. You can do whatever you want on your private property, but it's got to be in the reasonable of the law. So, yeah, I'm probably going the wrong way here, so I might have to pull over. Trying to get the Johnstones, so no, I don't want to go that way then. Am I going the right way? I think I'm going. Yeah, I'm going the right way. I might have to put this on hold for a second, or just make this quick. But no, I don't. This is why the Second Amendment exists. If you are unsure about getting a gun, go out and get one. Like, the best weapon I can suggest for you are two things: a pistol or a shotgun. Now, pistols are pretty much you can't afford a good pistol at a good decent price. Glocks are pretty cheap, but a shotgun will definitely protect you in the long run. A nice, good old-fashioned 12 gauge shotgun. And they make shells that are not like hard to use. I mean, they use law enforcement, which has less recoil on there. So yeah, hoping I'm going in the right direction. All right. Looks like I'm not. Looks like I made a wrong turn on Albuquerque. Ah, shit. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. I think the couple were not in the wrong for doing what they did, and I'm so tired of this country and their whole like, they're peaceful protesters. It's like, no, they're not. They're just breaking the law, and they're getting away with it because they're thinking they're the good guys in this situation, and they're not the good guys. They are the hordes of evil people. And like, you know what? The cultural shift has begun, and I think people are starting to push back against this. That's all. I'm done.